one thing that we haven't done that we should probably do is actually save the project. So we can go ahead and go to file. So if you see this save from 1.cs, that's not quite saving the project. We need to save the whole project. So basically what you want to do is come to Solution Explorer. So it should be next to Properties and over there, and in case it isn't, you can find it by going to Other Windows, and there it is. But basically right now we're in form 1.css, so this menu is in that context. You just navigate ahead to the full project, and now when you click on File and Save, now it's the full project, not just the one file. So when you click it, you can either choose the default location or you can put it wherever you want. I'm just going to dump it in the desktop. Yeah, and save it. And yeah, it's over there, and it will be where it is on your computer. Okay, so with that done, we're going to start pretty much the coding part of it, the programming part. We will use the form to generate 4 functions for us automatically. So we can just go ahead and do that. The first one will be we want the open file dialog to come up when someone clicks on this text box. So if we go to the properties window, there's a tab that says events, so that's the one that interests us. The default event for this text box, or for any text box, is on text change. So when someone starts typing, do a bunch of stuff, but we're interested on a click. So if you double click here, what it's gone ahead and done is generate this function. So it says on the text box click, we're going to do some stuff, and yeah, so we'll just go ahead and add a few of those. So for this one, we also want on click, and for the buttons, because the click is a default, you can just double click it and there's an event, and you can double click here. So now we have 4 auto-generated functions. I will quickly clean up the code for the sake of legibility. Alright, so let's dive into it. The first function we're going to work on is this one, which is called when you click on the video text box over here, and when you click it, it should open the file dialog. So we can go ahead and just write the code for that. Before we do that, we probably need to declare some variables for it, so we'll just start with that first. And we're putting them over here so that they are globally accessible. So to walk through what we've just written, this first line over here basically is what shows the dialog. The second line is an if statement, and basically it's checking if the user has selected a file. So it's checking for an OK confirmation or a yes confirmation. And if they have selected a file, we want to grab the name of that file. So for example, we also want to grab the path. And the folder containing the file. So for the last one, basically what it does is it takes the video path, which is this long one, and it replaces the video name, which is this, with nothing, such that you're just left with the folder itself. And the last part is just there so that the user has some feedback that they actually were successful in choosing a file. So a quick demonstration: if you click on start debugging over here, so here, and then if you click on the text box, the dialog comes up. If you click cancel, you can see it's still empty, but if you actually go ahead and choose something like that, the name appears there. Moving along, we'll go ahead and work on the on-click function for the save location text box. And to start off, we'll first declare a variable of type string. So this is somewhat similar to what we wrote before. The first part shows the dialog. The second part checks if the user has chosen a folder, so an OK or yes confirmation. And if they have chosen a folder, we want to set the selected path as the save location. To explain this part, first it helps to look over here. And I also made a mistake. Instead of using forward slashes, I should have used backslashes for the directory, so I'll go ahead and change that, because this is what's actually retrieved. Okay, so basically what this does is it gets the selected path, and it appends a backslash. So basically it appends a backslash, because the selected path doesn't have the backslash, and the reason they do them is to escape out of it, basically. So if the user has selected a location, do this. If they haven't, we want to set the default location to be the location of the video, just so that the output is saved somewhere. And yeah, so that's what this line is doing. And the last line is the same as above. It's just visual feedback to show the user that indeed they were successful in choosing a location. And as before, it's not necessary for the code to work, but it is a nice feedback. So to demonstrate, you can go ahead and just click start debugging, and if you click here, the folder browser dialog appears. If you click cancel without choosing anything, well, nothing happens now. So first, let's just choose a random file. So now if you come here and you're like, I don't really feel like it, and you click cancel, it defaults to the location of this video. And if you decide, okay, maybe I want to specify, let's say we put in the desktop, you click OK, it changes to that. So moving along, we'll go ahead and fill out the function called when the open button is clicked. And basically what we want it to do is, when clicked, to open the save location. So basically, what the first line does is check whether we actually have set a save location, and if we have, we can go ahead and just open it. So to demonstrate, go ahead and run the program by clicking the green button, and right now if you click open, nothing happens because there is no location specified. But if you go ahead and choose a location, okay, and now if you click open, it opens the folder. For the function called when the start button is clicked, what we're writing is pretty straightforward. All we want it to do is call the function calculate duration when clicked, and calculate duration can be found down here. If you recall, when we were using the command line, we passed in the duration. So like the first parameter was where to start the extraction, and the second was the duration. However, when you look at our form, we just have a start and stop time, which is intentional, because it's more intuitive for the user to put in the stop time rather than do the mental math. But what this means is that we have to calculate the duration that we will be using, and that's where this function comes in. And all we will do is simple subtraction. It will just take the stop time and subtract from it the start time to get the duration. To start things off, we will first declare some variables. And a few global variables at the top. So the first thing we're going to do is convert the string passed in for the times into integers so that we can work with them, for example adding, subtracting, etc. So I'll go ahead and write that up. Yeah, so basically all we're doing is seeing if text stop page is empty. So this would be this text box over here, the hour text box. And if it's empty, we'll just set the integer stop page to 0. And if it isn't empty, we're going to set the integer stop page to the respective value. Now we will need to do this step about 7 more times for the stop minutes, seconds, milliseconds, and same thing for the start time. That can very quickly clutter up our code. So for the others, I will be writing it in a shorthand notation that accomplishes the same as above, and I will explain in a bit. So what this is, it's called a ternary function, and basically it's the if else except shortened. So what it's saying is basically if oh, what it's saying is this true? If yes, I stop m equals 0. If no, I stop m equals the stuff after the colon. The second step is to convert the start and stop times to milliseconds so that we can easily subtract them. After we've done this, the next step is to subtract to get the duration in milliseconds. And finally, when we're done, we want to convert the duration to the hour, minute, second, millisecond format that FFmpeg accepts. Alright, so basically what's happening over here is that um, where we have the duration in milliseconds, and we're just trying to get the hours, the minutes, the seconds, and the milliseconds from that duration. So first, this step over here gets the hours by dividing it by the number of milliseconds in an hour. This part over here gets minutes, and this part gets seconds. And at this point, whatever's left over is in milliseconds. So for quick demonstration, let's say you started off with like I duration equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 milliseconds. Alright, so the first part, what it says is take this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and divide it by the number of seconds, the number of milliseconds in an hour, which comes to 3600,000. In this case we get a decimal, so which is about 0.034. However, because we're doing integer division, this gets rounded to 0, which works well for our needs. So basically what that means is that the total time is less than 1 hour. So as per the formula over here, we do nothing and just move on right to the next step. So the next step would be to try to get minutes from it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 milliseconds divided by the number of milliseconds in a minute. So that will be 60,000, and in this case we get 2. So and now we're left with minus 120. We're left with 3456 milliseconds to allocate. So the next thing we're going to try to get out of it is seconds. So and then if we go ahead and subtract those seconds from it, so it'll be like 3000 milliseconds, you're left with 456 milliseconds. So basically, for this, in terms of the hour, minute, second, millisecond format, we have 0, 2, 0, 2, 3, 456. There is definitely more than one way to go about this conversion, and I encourage you to try your own, because I can guarantee you can do this in a much simpler and elegant form. Maybe you don't even have to, here when we convert it to milliseconds, maybe you don't even have to do that. You can just subtract directly. I don't know, up to you, do explore. But we'll just go ahead and move on. And basically, the last thing we want to do is turn all these numbers back into a string. And the next step after converting to a string is to actually start the extraction. Yeah, so basically what this checks is that none of the text boxes are empty, and if none of them are empty, then I can go ahead and start grabbing the frames from the video file. And that's done in the function extract frames. So in the function extract frames, we are going to concatenate the various inputs into a string that looks like this. I'll just copy it and paste it for reference. And then we're going to pass the concatenated string to the command line. Uh, One thing you don't want to do is forget the space over here. It's important. Okay, so basically to just explain what's going on, the first part is just the SS thing. This is the string for the start time. This is the duration part of it. This is the specifying the basically where to find the video. So we put in the full video part so that you can run this program from anywhere. And yeah, the rest is just as it says there. So let's just the frame rate, and we just put in whatever the value is in the text box. This is the format, and the save location we put it as the same as what was selected above. And anytime you see these colons, they are called escape characters, and you can Google it for more information. But as you see, if I yeah, if I take it out, it doesn't quite work because you can't just put some characters are like special, so you can't just put them like that. And I'll just put a link in the description about them. Alright, so after that, the last thing to do is go ahead and send this string to the command line.